Workers who feel they've been pushed too hard on the job could make a bullying complaint more easily under changes proposed by Unions New South Wales. The union body wants the definition expanded to include work overload, systems changes, fatigue and exposure to violence. The new model has been put in a submission to the federal government's inquiry into workforce bullying. But is it workable, and would it ultimately help or hinder business? Mark Lennon is the Secretary of Unions New South Wales.
There are a number of psychological hazards in the workplace that aren't properly identified, and we're saying that they need to be identified. That is, overloads, work overloads, increasing stress, increasing pressures in the workplace. They need to be brought together as a package because that's what leads to bullying. It's not just individual behaviours, it's workplace systems that can lead to bullying behaviour.
So can you give me an example of the type of complaints you're seeing that should be defined as bullying but aren't?
Well, you'll find where individuals are getting additional work, and they seem to be the only ones that are singled out, that are receiving these extra duties, and that can be interpreted as bullying. You also see where people are being put on under additional time pressures that may not apply to other workers in that particular workplace, and of course that can lead and be identified as bullying behaviour as well.
You want work overload and system changes to be considered bullying, but aren't there cases in every business where extra work and change is necessary, indeed par for the course?
No doubt, but what needs to be in place is clearly understanding the risk factors that could be identified as bullying behaviour or lead to bullying behaviour, and that's what's missing in the legislation at the present time. So there's a number of hazards that can be apparent to certain individuals in the workplace that are leading to bullying behaviour, but not identified by the employer.
There are already laws to protect workers against violence, for instance. Would these changes put an unnecessary burden on business?
No, because we see that bullying behaviour is clearly on the increase. That's the anecdotal evidence that we're getting. And of course, ultimately that's a cost to the employer. Often what happens is a very good employee just leaves because the bullying behaviour hasn't been addressed. As a consequence then, the employer is missing out on a very productive employee. So it's important from the employer's perspective that this issue is addressed.
Mark Lennon, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.